The subjective nature of meditation also helps us to explain why we have to have a special.
And the third bow is in reverence to the Sangha.
For a newcomer, you might see my sitting position a little difficult.
That was the first introduction to New Age thought and spirituality.
Move both arms apart to the side, just like
Sawadee. Welcome to the third edition of Meditation for All, a program for all who love peace and discovering themselves. Last week, Reverend Nicholas Thanissaro talked about how meditation can help you beat insomnia, depression, and even mental exhaustion. He also explained why the further away the mind is from the body, the more suffering one experiences. This week, the Reverend will introduce you to 2 positive attitudes that can help you meditate well. He will also talk about how to train your mind so that it stays out of negative terrain. After that, we will invite you to actually sit down and meditate with us, and then we will show you mind and body exercise and meet a member of a fitness club who practice meditation. He will tell you how his regular practice of meditation differs from his practice of yoga because it focuses on stilling the mind rather than the body. But first, let's hear from Reverend Nicholas.
Welcome back to our session on meditation for beginners. Last week, we have already looked at how meditation works and how it brings many important benefits to us, including relief from stress, depression and insomnia, and can even help us to improve on the good character qualities which we already have. This week, we're going to be looking at some of the special approaches which we need to have to study meditation and how we can cultivate these so that we can make the maximum progress in our meditation. Some people wonder whether meditation can be considered a science or not, because it's clear that both meditation and science are ways of finding new knowledge and to get rid of our ignorance. Science uses empirical experiments, which means that it doesn't matter who does the experiment, the results will always be the same, and the results will verify facts about the natural world, mostly about the outside world. Although meditation was a much earlier tradition than science, it arrived in the Western world about 500 years after science. Thus, sometimes meditation is not so well known as science, as a way to find out about the world. In fact, meditation is a way to find out about the world too. But it tends to be a way of finding out about the nature inside us. It's not a way of getting knowledge, which we can delegate to anyone else in the world. Thus, if we want to find out about ourselves, we have to do meditation for ourselves. Thus, meditation is not empirical, it's subjective. But in our context, that doesn't mean it's unreliable. We can be scientific with our meditation by observing changes in our meditation carefully. But if we meditate like a scientist who spends the whole time asking questions, then we may not make very much progress in our meditation at all. A better attitude to meditation is to think of ourselves like a newborn child who is so innocent that they have no questions in their mind at all. We have to accept our own ignorance about the world. Only in this way can we start to find out new truths about ourselves which we never knew before. And yet, if anyone asked you to prove it, you could not do so. but it doesn't alter the fact that what you learn about your meditation can actually help you or be of great use to you. Thus, I warn you in advance that many of the things which I'm going to talk about on this mini-series I cannot prove to you scientifically. However, it doesn't mean that these things are not of benefit to you. All I can do is describe the general trends of what a large number of meditators have verified independently. The subjective nature of meditation also helps us to explain why we have to have a special attitude when we're learning about meditation, which might not be necessary if you're learning about academic subjects like geography, say, or politics. If we're talking about meditation, we have to be active in two ways, which are letting go of old misunderstandings or negative attitudes which we may have had in the past. Also, we need to open up more to positive attitudes which may be new to us. These are things which are not necessary for academic study, but they're necessary when we come to meditation. The subjective nature of meditation also helps us to explain why we have to have a special attitude to meditation which may not be necessary if we're studying academic subjects like geography or politics, for example. When we're talking about meditation, we need to have two very special attitudes when we are learning. The first thing is that we have to be willing to let go of old, possibly negative attitudes which we may have had before. At the same time, we also need to be ready and willing to open up to new positive attitudes which we're learning as we meditate. We need to be active in the search for beneficial things which we are learning from our meditation, whether it be about the person teaching it, the knowledge itself, and even the good aspects of ourselves as a meditation student. This is what we mean by respect from the point of view of the meditation student. We have to look for good points in everything new we learn about. In fact, even intuitively speaking, you may have had an experience of such attitudes before and the effects they have on your learning. If you think back to the time when you were still at school and think of the subject which you studied the best, you probably also find that the person teaching it was also your favorite teacher. This is no coincidence, but it could be accounted for by the fact that when we feel more positive about the person we're learning from, we can learn more knowledge from them. And the same thing goes for meditation. Thus, we would try to use what we call respect when we are learning about the subject in hand, so that we can be more familiar with meditation as we learn more and more. If you want to look at the real roots of respect, then we find that even as a word, it tells us about this deeper meaning. The word respect can be broken down into two pieces, re and respect. Re means to do something again. Spect means to look at something. So what exactly are we looking for when we are looking at something again? Well, from the point of view of our meditation, what we're looking for is the positive aspects in everything new that we're learning about, whether it be the teaching, the teacher, or ourselves as a meditation student. So much for opening up to new positive attitudes which we need for our meditation. But we also need to let go of some of the possibly negative attitudes which we had in the past. And in this connection, I'd like to tell you a funny story about an old Chinese woman who had some very negative attitudes. This old Chinese woman had two sons. The first son was the owner of a sunglasses factory. The second son was the owner of an umbrella factory. Normally, such a woman should be very proud of her sons who had done well in business, but not at all. She would cry every day. When her friends asked her why she was crying, then she'd have a different reason every day. Sometimes when it was raining, they'd ask her, "Why are you crying today, old woman?" She'd explain that, "Oh, today I'm thinking about my poor son with the sunglasses factory, who will not be able to sell any of his products today." When the sun came out on another day, again she was crying. And they asked her, "Old lady, why are you crying again today?" As she explained to them, "Today I'm thinking about my poor son with the umbrella factory. Today he won't be able to sell any of his umbrellas at all." So every day, rain or shine, the poor old woman would have something to cry about. One day, her friend pointed out to her a very simple but very important thing to change her life. That on the day it rained, why not think of the son with the umbrella factory? On the day when the sun shines, why not think of the sun with the sunglasses factory? And then she could laugh every day instead of crying. Well, it's just a funny story, but we can learn from this that sometimes our attitude can have a very strong effect on the way we see the world and our ability to gain happiness in the world. Also, when we come to meditate, we have to be ready to change our attitudes. And if we recognize in ourselves any old negative attitudes, then we must be ready to shed these if we're really to get on as a meditation student. So, the thing which means that our mind is able to pick up positive things is one special factor about the mind which may be useful for us to study a little further. And this is the fact that the mind can have only one thing in it at one time. If mind has positive things in it, then no negative attitudes can come in the mind. However, if the mind is preoccupied with negative thoughts, then no positive thoughts can come in it. Only one thing can be in the mind at any one time. And this is the quality of the mind which we exploit when we come to meditate. In fact, before we learn meditation, most of the time our mind is only on negative factors. But what we do when we meditate is to focus on something neutral. That neutral thing may be something like a crystal ball, or the sun, or the moon, or a star. Really, none of these things have any particular value. They're all neutral things. However, the thing which they do help us to do is they do help to distract our mind from the normally negative aspects which they are always dwelling on. Later, as our mind starts to focus more and more on neutral things, from time to time, it is able to flick over into more positive ways of thinking. From time to time, our mind will have little times of inspiration, and then as our mind becomes more and more able to think of positive things, then it will be impossible for our mind to slip back into the old negative ways of thinking. It's something which happens gradually, but this is something which we start to do in meditation by the simple fact that we train our mind to stay on something neutral instead of staying on something negative the whole of the time. So how can we promote an atmosphere by which we can learn more? Even in modern management these days, many companies have realized that the atmosphere of learning can make the difference between profit and loss in their company. It's just the same thing in meditation. If we don't have a positive attitude when we're learning, then we can fail to get any benefit from meditation at all. In management, they have spawned a whole new science which is called knowledge management, to try to get around many of the impediments which take place when people should be learning more or sharing ideas better. But this fails to happen. Some of the things which we can learn from knowledge management from the point of view of our meditation is the fact that we have to be open, we have to be positive about the learning experiences which we are having. And the ways in which we can do this are things like being willing to admit our failings, for example, learning from our own and others' mistakes, asking, for example, if we don't understand. Sometimes it can save us from reinventing the wheel each time. And helping the teacher to communicate more effectively by showing our encouragement and enthusiasm for what we're learning about. Also, because many of the ideas in meditation are new to us, then we need to give ourselves sufficient time to digest the new habits which we are doing. For example, if we're meditating, then we should try to meditate once a day to build up the new habits in our daily schedule. As we create such an atmosphere, then not only ourselves, but also our fellow meditators, if we're in a group, will be able to meditate much better as well. So these are just some ways, some hints, by which we can help the flow of information from teacher to student, from student to teacher, to help us all to learn meditation a little bit better. In the old culture of meditation, which mostly came from the Asian countries of the East, they used to have a special way to show their willingness to open up to new ideas. And the symbol of this was a special gesture of putting one's hands together in what we call a gesture of prayer. What we see in this gesture, where we put our hands together in a rounded shape, rather like a lotus bud, is that we are showing our willingness to learn something new. Because this lotus bud is a lotus bud which is very soon going to be ready to blossom. Another thing we notice about this gesture is that it also is like our heart. And as we are offering up our heart by making this gesture, it will show that we are willing to incorporate new qualities and new ideas into our hearts. And this is something which is symbolic, but it is something which we can also use to remind ourselves of the fact that we do need to be open when we are learning meditation, so that those new and positive ideas can really come into our hearts. So for today, we've had a little bit of a look at some of the special approaches which we need to have for the study of meditation, how to cultivate these in order that we can make the maximum progress in our meditation in the short time which we have available. Next week, we're going to be looking a little bit more at how to integrate meditation into our daily life. But in the meantime, I'd like to encourage you all to maintain your well-being by meditating each day, at least once a day. Try to fix the habit of meditation in your daily routine. Everyone on this program is going to encourage you to meditate once a day, at least at home. And please try to find time to meditate each day. In the meantime, try to maintain good health, minimize your anxieties, and I'll see you again next week.
Now that you have listened to how you can train your mind to stay positive no matter what, and how you can integrate meditation into your daily life, don't forget to meditate at least once a day to enjoy the benefits that meditation brings. In the next section, we'll show you Buddhist tradition through action, how Buddhists express their gratitude and pay homage to what they call the Triple Gem, namely the Lord Buddha, his teachings, and those who perpetuate his teachings, such as monks. Buddhists believe that to fully receive the teaching of the Lord Buddha, they have to bow in acceptance of his great virtues, just as they collect the fresh water that falls from the sky, or a waterfall to quench thirstiness.
Three for the Triple Gem. The action of bowing in respect to the Lord Buddha is very special, reverential, and beautiful. One should sit with both knees on the floor. It should be mentioned that the sitting posture for bowing is different for men and women, but for both the feeling is the same, one of peace and reverence. Lay both palms flat on the floor, but set them far enough apart to leave space for the forehead to slip between them. The first bow is in reverence to the Lord Buddha. The second bow is in reverence to the Supreme Truth, or the Dharma. And the third bow is in reverence to the Sangha, or ones who perpetuate the truth. Paying respect to Buddhist monks is the same as paying respect to the Lord Buddha or a Buddha image, because It is believed that the Buddhist monk is the one who perpetuates the triple gem. Thus, to pay respect to a monk is to pay respect to the triple gem. More than that, bowing helps to remind us of the focus of our meditation at the center of the body. We should maintain our mind in meditation as we bow, giving one's whole body and mind in respect to one's highest refuge. Thus bowing is to pay respect to Lord Buddha with the whole of one's body, mind and spirit. Bowing is paying respect from the inside out.
So that is how Buddhists express their respect for the triple gem from the inside out. In the next session, Reverend Somsak Piyasilo will walk you through meditation and show how you can practically share the happiness of a peaceful mind to those around you.
Welcome to the third class of meditation session. Hope you have been practicing meditation at your own home. Now, last time we talked about the axis of life, which is the combination that share the center of the physical body, the balanced one, and also the balance of the mind. Both physical and mind, they have got the same axis. Now that axis generates a lot of power because the body and the mind have united into one. Today we would go a little further. Lord Buddha says, man should lean only on himself. This is quite practical because to lean on oneself, we need to start from inside, and the center or the axis of each human being belong to their own. So that's why the teaching that says man should lean only on himself is quite correct. So everyone can start from the center. The center belongs to himself, and now we will start to do meditation further today. For a newcomer, you might see my sitting position a little difficult to start with, so choose your own sitting corner. Choose your own most comfortable sitting position. You might sit on your own favorite chair. You can sit on the couch cushion, or you can sit with the support of the pillow on the floor, similar to the sitting posture of the Buddha image. Now we will close our eyes softly. Do not force the eyes to be closed. Instead, we let the eyelids fall down softly, just to close the eyes. Relax all the muscles. Relax all the nerves. Let all the physical parts to remain stress-free. Relax the entire muscles around the head. Muscles around the eyes. The junction between two eyebrows. Let go all the tension. Imagine there is a stream or an influx of relaxation covering the entire body. No single part of the physical body can escape from that stream of relaxation. So the whole you is totally relaxed. Every intake of the air is full of freshness. And every outtake of the air will carry all the remaining troubles away from your life. Let the whole mechanism of physical body stay at ease. Just relax and relax. Relaxation is the key element in the success of being in the center. I want to remind the last advice. The turning point of the breathing is the center of the body, also the axis of life, both physical and mind. So we just enter the center of the body. The mind or the consciousness is now staying still in the center. The marking at the axis with the picture of the sparkling star is now available to see in the image of the mind. The vision of the shining star is now appearing at the axis, at the center of the body. This is the hub of the wheel of life. Physical parts might be moving like the outer part of the wheel, moving with activities and all other stuff. But at the hub, it is so perfectly a standstill. The mind is at standstill point in the hub at the center. Remain with full relaxation in the center at the hub of the wheel of life. We might welcome more shining stars when the awareness touches the image of the star. It might be like turning on a switch of the lamp that might increase the brightness of the shining star. The star starts to glow. The star is glowing with more and more brightness. Don't force the picture or try to frame the picture. Let the glow of the star to expand without limit. Let the glow of the star enlarges at its will. Sometimes the star keep coming and sometimes it is gone. That doesn't matter at all. The most important thing is the feeling of the existence in the center. The existence of the center is everything in meditation. The picture could be a reward, could be a byproduct, but the genuine quality of meditation is the existence of the center. So the awareness of the mind dwells very well in the center. No matter the picture may vary, but the existence of the center is always forever. So we keep the feeling, maintain the feeling of being existing in the center. We remain existent in the center all the time. In the hub, the star could glow gloriously, brighter and brighter. Let it be, as long as our mind stays in the center. Let peace and happiness happen by their own way inside the hub of the wheel of life. Now let's share this bright light inside the center with all other people. Expand the light in the manner of the sunlight. As the sun is rising, the beam of light goes automatically. So the radiation of the bright light inside the center is moving outward like a bigger and bigger sphere, covering everything on the way. Bright light from the center is now covering the whole planet Earth. Conveying wishes, good wishes from us to share peace and happiness with all human beings and all living creatures. And let's stay with the moment of bright light inside together for a little while. And if we are ready, we could count down from 3 to 0 and slowly open up.
Peace on earth, it's a dream we've shared. Only now it's close to reality. Would you listen carefully and spare me a little of your time? Meditation, haven't you heard? It's the key word for everyone. It's the next human evolution, and you would be the one to share it with the world. Now we join together and make it happen. Let's make the world at peace through meditation. Peace comes from within. At the center of all things is you. Peace and joy with love and your happiness. Light a candle bright inside of you, and it too will light the next one, and the next one, and the next millions of candles will brighten up the whole world. In this world, we know suffering. To be free, free from all of these things. Remember that the one place peace can be found is within. Now we'll join together and make it happen. Let's make the world at peace through meditation. Now we'll join together and make it happen. Let's make the world at peace through meditation. Now we'll join together and make it happen. Let's make the world at peace through meditation. From now on, may the bright light of peace at the center of each of you be a beacon for the true and everlasting peace. Let's make the world at peace through meditation. Now we join together and make it happen. Let's make the world at peace through meditation. Now we join
Next on our program, Mr. Virod, a businessman who is also a member of California Fitness Club, will give us an interview about his experiences with yoga and meditation and the differences in its benefits.
How long have I been studying meditation? 6 months of reading, and then 2 months back started actually trying to practice, but 3 weeks back started taking classes here formally. What made me interested? Well, first thing that made me interested is trying to find what I'm doing in this world. I've gone through a lot, and I feel it's still not what I'm trying to seek. Then one day I saw a book. I travel a lot, so I saw this book in Singapore, and the topic was How to Find God. It's a book written by Deepak Chopra. It's a New Age author, very popular in the States, from California. That was the first introduction to New Age thought and spirituality. And from there, studied a lot of books, read a lot of books, and everything, all these books have one thing in common, means you have to go inside yourself to find what you are and who you are and what you want to be. So to do that, it's very important you know how to meditate, because that's the only way you can go within. So read a lot of books about chakra meditation, breathing meditation, but this is the first time actually taking classes, and this technique of visualization is a lot simpler than what they teach you in chakra. So I guess it's a very good way to start meditating, this method, because it's not difficult. You don't get worried about it. You can relax, take your time, and eventually, hopefully, the results will show. According to Father Nicholas, he calls it visualization. Visualization, or I would classify it easily as visualization. How do I find it? It's a lot more simpler, because in the beginning you just visualize any object, and it's try to put that object within you. I guess it's just the beginning stages, so I can't say how it compares to the other methods because it's the first method I'm actually taking classes on. Improvements I've seen, it actually makes you stop and think when you get too emotional or you feel angry. Before, when you feel like getting angry, you just blow out. But I guess now you make a conscious effort to stop, wait, and see if you can get over the phase of being angry. Because that's my weak point, is I get very emotional, very angry, very fast. Maybe excess expectation from other people. So I guess that's maybe one reason why I started on this way of life, trying to control your mind, not to just do whatever it wants. And I guess meditation is one of the methods where you can do that. Yeah, I try to do it once in the morning and once at night. It's not every day at the moment, but we try at least once a day. If I can get twice a day, it's very good. How does meditation compare to other fitness techniques? I guess it's the most relaxing and the most beneficial because we are not competing with anybody or with ourselves. With yoga, I haven't tried yoga, so I can't say for the yoga, but aerobics, we're trying to improve ourselves physically. That helps, that should be done, but we don't get any peace of mind. So with meditation, I think it's most beneficial because you get peace of mind. And then that leads to better health. You look after yourselves better. That's a comfortable posture. That's a difficult question because being a big-sized person is very difficult for me. But what I read and what I tried is you can also sit on a chair and put your feet on the ground, preferably a wooden floor. That helps. And then you can just sit and meditate. And that way, if you sit straight chair with your feet on the ground and meditate, you can easily sit half an hour to 1 hour. This posture I can sit for half an hour at the moment. But if you want to do meditation longer than that, then I think in the beginning it's more comfortable sitting on a chair which is straight back, with your feet on the ground and your hands open. With your hands open, they say your body has different points. So you leave your hand open to receive maximum energy from the universe. Even this technique, you have to open your palms to receive energy, because if you learn about New Age spirituality, everything about us is about energy. What you think immediately becomes an energy field. And if a lot of people think the same way, it can become a reality. So when you meditate in a group, and if we're all thinking positive thoughts as a group, you can actually influence reality. It comes true. As we are saying, how is it different as a group and alone? Alone, I think it's more difficult for me to concentrate. But in a group, it's a bit easier. You feel something in the air. So I think maybe in the beginning, for beginners, it's better and easier and more beneficial meditating as a group. And once you can control your mind to a certain degree, then I think meditating alone will be good to advance to a different level. Just read a lot, trying to implement it now. What advice for people thinking of starting meditation? I think they should start as soon as they feel the time is right. Sometimes we do things out of fashion, following the crowd, but it never works. So once the time is right, everybody will feel that it's the time to start. I think that's when you get the best results. So it might take time in the beginning. We feel we're ready, but sometimes we're not. So I think should not get discouraged. Eventually the time will come. Like they say, it's always a time and a place. So when the master calls, you follow. But unless he calls, you cannot go. So I think for all of us, there's a right time. And when the time comes, people will automatically start thinking about meditation. Because I think it's the only way to find our true selves.
Thank you, Mr. Virod. Mr. Virod mentioned that there will be a point in each person's life when they will be ready for meditation. However, we should not wait. We don't know what lies ahead in our future. So, we should make today the day to begin meditating before we lose the opportunity. Sawadika. Hello again. This is Kasem Sukh Movement, and it is the third time we've met. I hope you enjoy our program and have good feelings about it, even if it is the beginning. Remember that when you do it at home, you can repeat it 2 or 3 times, or as much as you like, but not too tired. If you feel tired, just drop, sit down, and close your eyes. Isn't it like that, Kun Laksami?
Yes, Kun Vishuddha. And important is, while moving body, you have to concentrate at the center or at the turning point of the breath.
Yes, so that's the reason why Kasem Sukh Movement needs something very slow and gentle. So today we will continue with the second posture. What do you call it?
We call it to fly. This posture is supposed to be performed right after the first one, since we can demonstrate only one posture at a time. So we will start with preparation posture, then second posture. Now, Tram is in preparation posture. Both hands placed on the abdomen at the level of the center of the body. Close the eyes. Take a deep breath in and out slowly 2 or 3 times to feel the center of the body, which is the turning point of the breath. Stand still for a few seconds. Then lower the body by bending both knees a bit relaxingly. Don't force yourself. Both hands are in front at the level of the center of the body. Right one over the left one. Then slowly move both arms to the side, just like the way of birds are going to fly. Swing the arms up as far as you can, or about 45 degrees, angle to the shoulder. Remember, do not force yourself, bend your knee and swing the arms. You can do it as far as you can. Try with Tram one more time. Stand upright in the preparation posture. Close the eyes softly and take a deep breath to feel the center of the body or the turning point of our breath. In and out, in and out. Stand still for a few seconds. Open up your eyes. Free both arms relaxingly. Now, turn the palms up, overlapping with the right hand over the left one in front of the body, and bend your knee a little. Then, slowly move both arms apart to the side, just like birds flying, and swing the arms up for 45 degrees, ankle to the shoulder. Don't forget you have a full moon floating inside your abdomen. After flying, stretch the body. Free both arms 2-3 seconds to feel the blood circulation. Then sit down in the lotus posture. Close your eyes, being with peace inside.
Oh, it is real flying. And this is the second posture of Ksem Suk movement.
Yes, and this posture is very good for knee joint, shoulders, and muscles at arms. And also the balancing for yourself. While moving body, think about the clear crystal point or the moon at the center. You will move more gracefully so that you can feel the serenity inside.
So this is a beautiful technique leading to meditation. So you should try it at home. Meditation is something very easy and very beneficial to yourself, both body and mind. So it's time for us to say goodbye today. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ
Thank you for watching Meditation for All. In the next edition, Reverend Nicholas will tell you how to clear rubbish off your mind and integrate meditation into your daily life. Until then, give yourself a chance to meditate at least once a day. Have a bright week. And see you next time. สวัสดีค่ะ